Wisconsin, Eric Little Hands of Steel Morel. And a round of applause, please, for Jesus Lopez.
Next up, Floyd Mayweather, weighed in at 132 pounds, just a little bit over the 130-pound limit. Bobby Giepert, his opponent, weighed in at 133. Floyd, for the time being, planning to campaign as a junior lightweight at 130 pounds, 5-0 early in his professional career. And some people regard Floyd, Roy, as the best prospect off of the 1996 American Olympic team.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his fights in the Olympics, and he does look like a very promising athlete. He's an all-around athlete. I just think he needs to probably work on his attitude a little bit.
Interesting, because he comes from a family of fighters. If any young fighter should be schooled in the proper mental approach to this, you'd think it'd be Floyd.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mean the proper mental approach. I'm just speaking of the way that sometimes, you know, you have to be a sportsman. You want to set an example. I don't think all guys look to set that example. And I think Floyd should probably look to set more of an example, because he is a good fighter, and many kids will want to be like Floyd.
All right, and there's a look at the opponent, Bobby Giepert. Second fight in 29 months. 19 wins, 8 losses, and for most of those 29 months, Giepert's been doing a lot more electrical work than training or fighting. Roy Jones fought him as an amateur years ago, and we'll hear more about that in a few minutes. The opponent, Floyd Mayweather, Grand Rapids, Michigan, nephew of 2 continuing active professional fighters, Roger Mayweather and Jeff Mayweather, and his record so far is 5-0 with 4 KOs. 1996 Olympic bronze medalist and the first American boxer to defeat a Cuban in the Olympics since Leon Spinks knocked out Sixto Soria back in 1976. Tail of the tape for Floyd Mayweather and Bobby Giepert. You can see the 1-pound weight advantage for Giepert, the 4-inch reach advantage for Mayweather. 8 years difference in age. The rules are the same as those for the last bout. 3 knockdown rule in effect. Saved by the bell in the last round only. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the introductions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank and Budweiser present a special 6-round bout. This is in the junior lightweight division. The 3 judges scoring this contest will be Carol Castellano, Cynthia Ross, and Lou Tabbitt. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Joe Cortez. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, and weighing in at 133 pounds. From Terrytown, Louisiana, he brings a record of 19 victories, 8 defeats, 5 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Bobby Giepert. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with black, weighing 132 pounds. He captured Olympic bronze in 1996, and now as a professional, his record is 5-0 with 4 KOs. He comes to us originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but now living and fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. All right. Everything gonna count. Team taking one. All right. All right, Roger. All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times, all right? Shake hands, good luck to both.
Floyd Mayweather's father, Floyd Sr., just out of prison about 10 days ago, is now in a halfway house back in Grand Rapids, I believe. Had been imprisoned on a cocaine-related rap. Floyd Jr. in frequent contact with him while he was in prison, talked to him about fights. And he'll be joining his camp as soon as a 6-week intermediate period is done.
How long ago did you fight Bobby Giepert, Roy?
Back when I was 13 years old.
So that would be 14 years ago.
Yep, exactly.
What do you remember about him?
That he was left-handed.
Guess what? He hasn't changed. Still a southpaw. Giepert said to us yesterday that he wanted to go to Floyd Mayweather's body. He thinks that's the vulnerability of all superstar young fighters, is that they probably haven't been tested to the rib cage yet. That's his plan.
And the vulnerability of guys who haven't fought much is that they were in the later rounds.
This one's scheduled for 6. Down goes goes Giepert.
Quick, straight, right hand punch.
5,
Seems to be
6,
aware of what's going on.
7.
Does he want to get up?
Yeah, he wants to get up. He shouldn't last much longer now. I don't think he's ever been caught with a punch like that since being professional.
Little blood trickling from the left nostril of Bobby Giepert as Mayweather looks for another opportunity to land the right hand. Bangs a left to the body. Giepert now fiddling with the nose as he tries to get the blood flow to stop. And Mayweather comes back with rights, and Giepert will go down, and
That's it.
Joe Cortez says that'll do. 1 minute, 28 seconds of the first round, or about a minute and a half of the first round, something like that. And Floyd Mayweather has yet another quick KO victory.
On the side. All right, so on your side. Okay, my side.
Giepert is hurt.
He's hurt bad. He got caught with some very sharp punches by Floyd Mayweather.
Take a nice deep breath. Finding out that you can't be a part-time fighter.
No way possible.
He is an apprentice electrician in Gretna, across the river from New Orleans.
To borrow a bad pun from James Brown during our rehearsal, do you think this shocked the electrician, Giepert?
Yes, it did.
That was the first knockdown, a quick, straight lead right hand. You can see that Mayweather has terrific tools, and it's going to be interesting watching him mature. He's a lightweight now, could grow into welterweight. This young man has some ability, and he comes from a fighting tradition. That left to the ear started the end of that. Giepert is now sitting on a stool as we watch this rerun.
Probably not a great choice for Bobby Giepert to come back to boxing after near retirement.
Got $3,000 for this.
And he can use it. That part is good. Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez calls a halt to the bout at 1 minute and 30 seconds of the very first round. The winner by knockout victory, his record now 6-0, 5 KOs. He is the pride of the Fighting Mayweathers, pretty boy Floyd Mayweather.
Well, JB, he electrocuted him with right hands.
Make no mistake about it, Jim, he indeed did shock him strong with some very powerful punches. You know, Floyd Mayweather told all of us that the one thing he was going to have to work on in the ring was to tone down his performance, not to be so exuberant. I think he accomplished that nicely this evening with a very efficient, workmanlike effort as Floyd Mayweather moves on impressively in that victory over Bobby Giepert. All right, folks, the main event, of course, Pernell Whitaker and Oscar De La Hoya, as we take a look inside the locker room at Pernell Whitaker, who still, as Jim Lampley indicated, maintains a very loosey-goosey approach to things, but folks, don't be fooled. He worked extremely hard to get in shape, and he maintains that he's got legs like he had some 6 or 7 years ago. He may need them tonight as Oscar De La Hoya plans to press the attack. Other fights coming up on the preliminary bouts this evening include Paulie Ayala taking on Nestor Lopez in a bantamweight battle. And then Butterbean Esch, the man who has developed quite a cult following, taking on Big Ed White. And Alfonso Sanchez taking on Irish Mickey Ward. And that, in fact, will be the next bout that we will see. Alfonso Sanchez taking on Irish Mickey Ward. Mickey Ward, a 31-year-old road paver out of Lowell, Massachusetts. And he was quite candid in telling us that laying asphalt on the road up in Lowell, Massachusetts, quite hard work. So he in fact tried to come back to the sport of boxing, has done such since 1994, and he says that he is much more focused and much more disciplined and plans to do quite well this evening. Well, he's got a pretty tough matchup in Alfonso Sanchez. And right now we're going to send you back downstairs ringside as we get set for the next in our preliminary bouts as we head toward main event time. Let's rejoin Jim Lampley.
All right, James Brown. Mickey Ward had a scheduled date with Julio Cesar Chavez this past December in Reno, and that bout was canceled at the last minute because of a Chavez injury. Mickey Ward said, well, I lost that opportunity, but maybe it will all turn out for the best because putting me on this card was a little bit of a makeup to me from promoter Bob Arum. Ward's record, 29 wins, 7 losses so far, 20 KOs. He's been a little better since he refocused himself on the sport back in 1994, as JB pointed out. And Mickey Ward's elder half-brother, Dick Eklund, appeared in a fight that you covered here on HBO, Larry.
One of our earlier fights, he fought Sugar Ray Leonard earlier in his career in Boston. Sugar Ray Leonard was the hometown favorite in Dick Eklund's hometown. But Dick Eklund had some real skills and went the distance with Ray and had a controversial knockdown or no knockdown of Ray, and has had a rough go of it ever since. He's in the prison right now on a robbery charge. He was a smart fighter, but he wasn't a very smart robber. You might understand that after he robbed a store, he took a taxi cab home, told the taxi cab driver not to tell anybody where he went. The taxi cab driver called the police and